Absolutely, and I totally wouldn't think you would have there would be any ill will towards Armin at all, but it's more just so the fact that getting people to know you wrote that song, like how for you, were you able to take the success of being the writer or a writer on that song? Were you able to leverage that elsewhere as far as getting more attention for other songs you'd written, or maybe people approaching you as a co-writer or a ghostwriter for their songs or anything along those lines?
I get a lot of requests for vocals, so DJs will email me and they go, I'd love to get your vocals on this track. I was like, well, let's hear the song. And then they don't send me a song, they send me a track. I'm like, well, where's the song? Well, you got to put something down. I'm like, okay, so you need me to write a song. So then at this point, I got to make it, well, I mean, am I writing the song for me, or am I writing the song for this DJ, or do I want to write a song for a bigger DJ or something? I mean, it's all about leveraging. And I mean, this is it's art, but it's also a business, and you got to be smart about it. I don't want to just put my vocals on anything. I want to make sure there's substance to the songs and that it's going to actually equate to something. So, I definitely had the opportunity to work with so many other people because of Armin and Rehab. So it's just I'm fortunate. I've been able to keep putting songs, and they seem to work, and I'm hoping to keep building on that.
Yeah. Obviously, I haven't mentioned it yet because we went into fairly detail about it. It's in our first interview a while back. But and when we spoke quite a bit about that transition you had made from Soul Decision and all the success you guys had in the 90s and early 2000s to your career as a solo artist, which really emerged after a few-year hiatus. But essentially, I know we talked at that time, and you've said elsewhere that you had a bit of frustration in the Soul Decision days as far as how you guys were marketed and how you guys were branded, and not having control over the image, because you guys were a band. Mm-hmm. You've made the comparison to you guys should have been marketed the way Maroon 5 was, as a poppy, but a band, a rock band. This time out, since your solo career began, have you been taking more control of it, and is it essentially just more enjoyable for you, assuming that you're having more control this time about how you appear and how people perceive you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a minefield, right? So I've learned a few ways to navigate through it without making the same mistakes, because yes, we were marketed a certain way, and at the time, we were killing it. We were number 5 in the States, U.S. radio, and number 1 on MTV, and we're selling records, and we're playing huge venues, and there's just fans everywhere. So you get caught up in that without really thinking ahead to the future of the consequences, that when the dust settles, where are you going to be? And that's where my frustrations came in afterwards, where I couldn't really get any work and no one gave a shit, right? So my hiatus off from doing anything. I mean, I was always in my room writing or somewhere else in the world trying, but it wasn't really till the Armin thing came about, and he didn't give a shit about my background. He's like, "It's a great song, and I want to put it out." So he gave me the chance, and I've just been able to stay on top, and it is a proving ground. I have to keep proving all the time, and write more heartfelt songs and keep them a little more raw, and try to get away from the whole dancey thing, just to try to prove to people that, hey man, I'm a person, I'm an artist, like you're gonna get the real thing. I'm not fucking around here. If I can say that.
Oh, of course, but there's often, like you'd experienced back then, there can be a difference between what you're doing and what's perceived that you're doing, like you experienced then. Now in this solo career that has really taken off, whether it's doing an interview with Canadian musician or a photo shoot or whatever it is, are you saying to the label or to maybe your publicist here at Strut or whoever, like, this is my image, or this is what I am, and this is what I want to be seen as? Are you being more assertive like that? Oh,
definitely. Yeah, we sit down and talk about strategy and everything. You have to. Like I said, it's a business, right? And you can't just go out there and see what happens. I mean, as an artist, I want people to realize what I do and who I am as a person. I mean, I'm just a regular guy. I write some songs out of North Vancouver, and I'm making a living of it. So, I surround myself with people that understand what I'm trying to accomplish, and we work together to get the songs across and to put them out to the right places and the right people.
And we got into it a bit before, but would you be open to writing for other people? I'm often surprised. You'll hear a lot of tracks on the radio or elsewhere that blow up, and then you later on see the writers behind it. You're like, oh shit, that's the dude that wrote that, or was a co-writer on it. Whether it's dude from Mariners Trench, his name is escaping me, but co-writing Call Me Maybe, stuff like that, where it's like, oh, didn't know that guy was. Essentially, would you have an interest in that type of career, or do you prefer to sing your songs?
I mean, I've always been asked that, like, why don't you write for other people? But I think, I've tried so long to get out there as an artist, and just, when you write for other people, you're writing for somebody else's personality too, really, right? So it's harder to make that transition, where right now I'm really just trying to open up and get the stories out and get some things off my chest that I need to say. So eventually, I probably would say maybe down the road, I would, when I'm done with doing what I'm doing, if I want to keep writing and be involved, I'd probably just write with other people or for other people.
And speaking of doing what you're doing, it's since, I guess, I don't know how you want, but it reemerged or whatever with This Is How It Feels Like. It's kind of been a succession of singles for you. Is that the new model for you, just to keep putting out singles, or is there an LP that's either in the works or at least in your mind, or is singles the new way it goes these days?
I mean, I have a few more songs in the can ready to go as well, so there's definitely enough for an EP. Yeah. And if I can just stay diligent with my writing and keep writing stuff that I'd be proud to release, I could have an album very soon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it has been just a singles game. And
does an album even make sense in this day and age in the streaming world? Like that, I know that was a topic of conversation that came up a few times when I was at Canadian Music Week recently in the panel discussions and presentations, and that is there's a sentimental attachment that artists have to the album format, which is totally understandable. And as a music fan, I like listening to a body of work albums, but in cold hard terms, in the streaming age, in the digital age, maybe makes more sense to, even if you have an album's worth of songs, put out a new single every few months and keep that momentum and attention going, rather than put it all out there at once. People binge and then forget and move on to the next thing.
I think it depends on the strength of the album too, right? If you have an album full of singles, then you're doing amazing, right? If you have 2 or 3 singles and the rest is just whatever, I mean, it's up to the fans to decide that. But there's definitely benefits for touring, because if somebody wants to hire you for a festival and play an hour set and you have 4 or 5 singles, you don't really have the material. You're doing cover songs. But if you have an album and you still have those singles, people want to hear the singles and they also get to hear your album. So you can, there's definitely more opportunities for that. But I don't want to be in a situation where I'm rushing to put out an album just so I can do more shows. I mean, I'm building something, I'm taking my time, and I'd rather put out a good song after a good song after a good song and have people take notice, go, oh, if I go to this guy's show, this actually be really fun. I think I know all this guy's songs. And so eventually there will be an album, because I'll have enough singles where like, well, just put them all together, and then well, pretty much, and then you come up with another single maybe to launch the album. So but I mean, having single after single, that really is the benefit right now, because that's what drives the market, right? It's who's got the hottest song out.
Nice. How have you found that the radio or online success of the songs have been translating to the live setting? Are you enjoying playing these songs live, and are you finding that how have you found the crowd reaction in that live setting?
Well, I'm fortunate to get a good radio play in Canada, and so when I do shows, I find people are singing the words still just about all these songs, and it feels great, because then you did your job as an artist, you connected with human beings, and they loved what you're doing, and you guys can have that moment together on stage. And but without the radio, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people would be finding me online. I don't really have a big online presence per se, but I'm all over the radio, so people kind of know the songs, but they may not know who the artist is. And if I'm playing at a festival where they're there to see another artist, and they discover me, go, oh, well, this is Trevor Guthrie, I know all these songs, this is great, then I win fans, right? So yeah.
Interesting. And well, before I let you go, you said that might put a bit of a kink in the works, your hand here, but as far as what you have planned, but like I said, this interview will be dropping around the time mid-July that Wanted is coming out, so fans obviously can now keep an eye out for that, find it online. But is there anything else that at this time will be coming up later summer or fall?
I mean, I do have a track in the works with some very big DJs that I can't really mention right now, but if that does happen, it's going to be very exciting, and I'm just waiting to hear back if it's going to happen. The song's already done. It's there. It's being produced, but I don't know. So hopefully, there may be one more collaboration with a very large DJ group if it goes through.
I guess just to tack onto that, what is it you love so much, or seem to love so much, about working with DJs? It wasn't just Armin, but now, like you just mentioned, you have another project in the works that you can't say yet, but it seems like there seems to be a real synergy between what you do and working with the EDM or DJ world. Like, what is it about that you like?
Well, I think it's also, like I mentioned before, it's like having one foot in, like, say, the pop top 40 world and one foot in the EDM world. the crowds that you play for at EDM are just amazing. Like the people are in just such a great mood and they're just happy. They're having fun. Nobody's trying to hurt anybody. And it's, when you collaborate with a DJ, you get to be exposed to their fan base, and they may discover you as an artist. Like, oh, I'm going to look this guy up, and they see what you do. And it's just, it's just about really not focusing on one genre, but just, I'm an artist. I like to do different stuff. And if they'll have me in EDM or they'll have me in pop, I'm happy to do it.
Well, Trevor, best of luck with your recovery. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure seeing you again, and it's always a pleasure. And good luck with the new single, new everything. And I hope you're back being able to play guitar and piano very soon.
Thanks, man. Cheers.